Hey guys, I have a Premier Limited box. I'm gonna go ahead and open this guy up. I've opened 2 boxes already. That'll be my third. I'm just kind of skim through some of the cards I got from the first 2 boxes. It's a nice one. It looks really good. Some of this stuff also is, I had a second anthology box that I had gotten off eBay, I don't know, maybe about a year ago. And it was, I mean, it was kind of it was a cheaper buy. But for the price of second anthology, so I kind of knew that it was possible. But it could be a little jacked up, and the sun was fading on it. It was horrible. So I went ahead and opened it. You know what? Let's just take these packs out. Number this is 112,069. Put that on my bookcase. And let's start opening some packs. So PSA has the I think it's just like their other CCG. Sale going on. Which I think when you're the member, I saw the yellow for a vehicle, so Sandcrawler. Their sale for this month is just $1 off. But if you're gonna send in $30 submissions, it's $30 off. So I am very hopeful for this box. The centering on everything looks very good. The cards are looking very good. Can't eat them. Sometimes the boxes, I mean, you'll get the card out, or you start opening them up, and they've already got whitening along the edges. Just not even talking about the centering, which you can see that centering is pretty bad. I can see on some of these, the cut didn't cut real good, so the edge is kind of like just barely folded up. Okay, an alien. 4-5, it's Mayo. Can see the line from the roller. So I'll try to see, I don't know if you'll be able to see, but like this, the Abrician right here, it's not really white, but it's kind of raised. I don't know if it's getting the light just right, but just where it didn't cut, great. So, alien 4-3. Oh, 4-3. Why am I blinking? Ah, yeah. I was not thinking about that guy. Well, come here. I just maybe I can show you guys real quick. I let him out to play for a little bit. He's in a little tent right now. Need to be careful. So my wife and I were leaving Dick's a few weeks ago. And one of the cars we were parked next to, you could hear some crying coming from it. And it was coming from the hood of the car. So we tracked the owners down, and I was able to pull him out, and he was estimated to be about 8 or 9 days old when we found him. And so now we have been bottle feeding, and he's, I think, trying to think. It's been a blur because kind of like a kid, you have to get up in the middle of the night and bottle feed them, or their blood sugar can get too low. And so the first week or two, I was getting up every 2 or 3 hours and feeding him. But he can go 4 or 6 hours now. 0-5 legs. And he's using a litter box now. So another fun fact is kittens that young they don't know how to use the restroom. So you have to like stimulate them, like basically rub them to make them, it's mimicking the mom would like, I guess, lick them, and then they would go to the bathroom. Lateral damage. Lateral damage is always a very good card. This just so far seems to be an exceptional box on centering, and then just no damage to the cards. It's got a little, I say that, and then the top of this one has just a little nick. I know it doesn't make sense, but I just still cannot I think Premiere is still my absolute favorite. Rebel 3.6. It's a Han. Wow. So I have gotten a Han Solo in every single box I have opened. But I am still chasing a Vader. I don't care if that thing's got a huge crease in it. I pull a Vader and I'm going to get it graded. I have never pulled a Vader. This one's got rough edges. So talking about grading, just kind of random fact, one of the things I did find out, I talked to a grader, and if you are submitting a pack that has a clear cellophane, or it's a clear pack, basically, they will grade the actual pack, but they also grade the card inside. So, like if you're going to be doing some of the Rebel Leader packs, you might take that into account. Oh no. You might take into account the card, not just the pack, or even the box toppers and stuff like that. I'm sure it's all nostalgia. This card's pretty jacked up, actually. It's even got pitting on the card. What's up, dude? I absolutely nailed that pack. Did I count that right? So Premiere is my favorite. I mean, cost has, two cantinas. Cost has something to do with it, I think, but I just really enjoy opening Premiere up. I mean, it's not cheap, but I really enjoy it. And I guess it's probably, I mean, as a kid, Premiere is what I had the most of. So it just hits me in the feels when I open Premiere. And seeing, so, you know, I buy a lot of collections also. And I see a ton of Premiere, have a ton of Premiere. And honestly, some of the Premiere, like I'm sick of the Premiere that I get from collections and stuff. It's the mint, the very pack fresh Premiere. Like I want it. I want a lot of it. There's a lot of Premiere that I get from a collection. It's got like, I mean, I don't know. It's like they went to the beach and played played on the beach. It's like gritty sand in between, and it's ridiculous. I bought kind of a random lot, so I feel lucky because I do normally look at collections before I buy them, but I feel pretty lucky that I haven't gotten Millennium Falcon. So the last box I opened, I got a Millennium Falcon also. But it's the smoke smell. It can just ruin a whole collection. But I bought on eBay the other day, or I guess just a couple weeks ago, I bought, I don't know, it was like $30 or something. It was just kind of a random lot. It was in a starter deck box, but it wasn't like a starter deck. Okay, Imperial 3-4 general tag. Got really excited there for a second. It's got actual like lines on the card from the rollers, but it had like a Darth Vader with lightsaber. Had like maybe 7 or 8 revised Hoth Raiders, like a couple of good ones. Like if you were gonna go probably like buy retail, buy all the cards that were in there. Obi-Wan's lightsaber. You know, you may have to pay $60, so it was a decent deal if you wanted those cards. But I got it, and it was from a seller that they had some CCG stuff, but it was sports cards, like tons and tons of sports cards. And it's on my YouTube. I opened it, but I think I got the box and I didn't open it for a day or two, and so I put it in my office. I just left it, and I could smell a little bit of cigarette smoke before I opened it, just in my office. And there was like a couple other things I had gotten, so I didn't really know what it was. And then I opened it, and the cards reeked of cigarette smoke. And I was a little bit aggravated because I requested a return. I haven't got my money back yet, but got a nice little ding there. I did request a return, and they accepted the return. And I asked them to send me a label because they wanted me to just pay to ship it back. And I was like, I'm not paying to do that. Like, it reeked. I had to, like, just touching the cards and going through them, my fingers smelled like cigarette smoke afterwards. And you know, the eBay listing, they had the cards kind of fanned out and took pictures, and so I mean, they 1000% handled the cards, and it did actually kind of aggravate me, especially the guy, because he was like, he said, "Hey, which I think eBay forced him to return it. Dark Seeker, I always forget about the Seekers. But he was like, hey, I'm doing you a big favor with this. I don't normally accept returns. And the more I think about it, it actually kind of ticks me off because his whole, I mean, he had like 5,000-6,000 items for sale on his eBay shop. It was a cart shop. That's what he deals in. And you know better than that. Like, I can see something that is just, has a hint of cigarette smoke or, that being kind of iffy. But, I mean, it was just doing like this with the cards for a minute and a half. My hands smelled like cigarette smoke. And, like, I think I even, like, washed my hands and it didn't just immediately come off. So he knew better. He knew what he was doing. So that kind of aggravated me. So I need to check and see if that stuff's gotten back yet and see if I've got my money back. And I don't know. I guess you guys told me, I don't know if that's just fair game. Like, buyer beware, you're buying on eBay. Because I don't think so. I would never do that. That's just not right. Because you can, 3, 4, C3PO. Oh man. So, like, I would sell stuff. Like, if I got something, if I got a collection, which I did get a collection that had a smell of cigarette smoke. It wasn't terrible, but it was noticeable. And I wouldn't mind selling stuff like that just as long as you tell people. Which obviously you're gonna get less money. But you gotta like put that in the listing, man. Necklace. So the one collection. His name is Richard because we got him right outside of when we were at Dick's Sporting Goods. You can't just call him Dick. So his name is Richard. Man, I don't know what I keep doing to these packs. Like, I've never even seen a pack open like this before. What I did, that is rough. To get the cigarette smoke out is I had one of those 4-row, 3,200 count boxes, and I taped a bunch of dryer sheets to the top and then shut it up and put them in there. I don't remember. I think I may have put them in the garage. It was a bunch of Premier Limited that felt like it had sand in between it. It wasn't in good condition. So I didn't mind it being in the garage, but it ended up taking the smell out. And then I kind of got the smell out, and then tried to clean the cards up. Took like a, I don't remember if it was a paper towel. It wasn't a paper, I don't remember what it was. It wasn't like a microfiber, but I took something and just tried to individually wipe each card. It took a long time, but I was just sitting there watching TV. And then a lot of those cards went to, there was just like 2 or 3 of us that started playing Star Wars CCG in Oklahoma City. And then we played at the local game store. And people would come up and start talking to us, and they would say, oh man, I remember playing that game, and love that game. I used to have cards, or I still have cards. And one of the guys that came up and talked to us, he was, I don't remember if his wife was playing something or doing something there, but he kind of, so he has now kind of joined our group, and a lot of those just, you know, kind of commons and uncommons went to him. So he can build some decks. Speaking of commons, uncommons, and building decks, that Y-Wing made me think about it, Rebel Trooper. So my son just turned 7, so let's see, Vader, Turlaser, Vader's lightsaber, nice. So my son just turned 7, and he's watched me with these cards, sorting and all sorts of stuff, and he loves them. And I had just gotten a handful of cards and kind of used the Destiny to like play war with him. And which today was his first day of school. So this week, before he started school, I made a couple of decks just out of Premier cards with a bunch of Rebel Troopers, Y-Wings, X-Wings, and then Stormtroopers and TIE Fighters, stuff like that. And then weapons. And I made a couple of decks, and we have actually played like 2 games so far. I mean, it's a very dumbed down, generic version, but oh, I forgot to do that, yeah. Well, just getting distracted talking. And it's actually pretty fun, and he just turned 7, so he's one of those kids that's gonna be like, he's gonna be the youngest kid or the oldest kid in his class, and so he's the oldest kid. So he just started 1st grade today, but it's a really, really good. So we play where, let me do this before I forget. You can do battle destinies, but there's no, haven't taught force draining. And I do have to kind of play to lose, or play to where we can have some battles. But it's a very, very good counting exercise for a 1st grader. Just constantly counting and adding power and adding everybody's ability and just adding everything up. So, I don't know. I guess what I'm trying to say is I'm telling myself I'm teaching him. I'm helping his schooling by playing Star Wars CCG with him. I mean, that makes sense, right? I just keep going for the best out of what I can see. Well, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 packs left. Not a lot of chances for that Vader. Good old Pops. Well, that was a boring conversation anyway. I have my first PSA submission. I don't know if it's actually been shipped back to me yet, but I know it's done and I've seen the grades, so I'll be doing. I think I sent 27 cards in. Kessel Run. I'm very happy with, I know the grades, and I'll just say there's no 10s. There was a lot of 9s. Or a good amount of 9s, and then 8s. I didn't really have any super surprises. I'm very happy with those grades just for the fact of that first submission that I sent. Those were all cards that I did not pull. They were just cards that I had, like from collections I had bought. We'll go with the middle one. So real quick, the goal of this, when I get down to 3 packs, the goal is to have it very climactic, and I'm gonna pick the middle one, and then so I'm trying not to pull the Vader until the very last pack. That's my goal. So I think for cards that I didn't, physically pull straight out of a pack into a penny sleeve and then into a hard case, or I think that's pretty good to get as many 9s as I did. Tonica Sisters. What, Richard? You want to play? I'm almost done. We'll go with this left pack. Has a little bit more wear on the top, so I will pick this one. Not sure I've been totally paying attention, but I think this may be the first Owen Lars that I pulled. So the centering on this one card is perfect on the back. It's light side, so it obviously cannot be a Darth Vader. I mean, I don't know how it could get any better to pull a Luke as your second to last pack, and then pull a Darth Vader. Oh. Rebel Planers. Well, I mean, honestly, probably a PSA 10 Rebel Planers. I was going so slow, I saw that white edge, and I was like, okay, character, that's good. Light side, so no Vader in this box. Devastator is another one I have not ever pulled that I would love to pull. Motion. Well, Han Solo. Let's get this real quick. So we've got Han Solo, Millennium Falcon, and C-3PO, I guess are kind of the mains. Vader's lightsaber. So, excited. I'm gonna send these in. They look good. That one I may not, because it's got a real nasty ding down there. But again, I've got another Millennium Falcon Han Solo. Well, thank you guys for watching. I will. You look up. Look up. Thank you guys for watching. So I might have another box. I have another box. I might open it. The longer I go without pulling a Vader of my own that I've pulled myself, the more I just want to keep opening. So I also have, I may have like 15 starter decks. I may open some of those. I'm kind of waiting on those because I would like to maybe grade some of the commons and uncommons, but I'm not quite there yet. And so I hate to get a ton of commons and uncommons and just have them sitting in a box until I'm ready to grade. So anyways, thanks for watching, guys.